A slightly different topic now. There has been in the local papers, once again, this issue of a planning application which is being made to be built for the city in the city centre.
Yes.
I was at a council meeting where some of the councillors, mostly on the Conservative side of the chamber, were arguing that the master plan for Milton Keynes, if there ever was one, is actually not being as closely followed in terms of building regulations, in terms of the heights of buildings and things like that. Now, there's also this issue about the casino, which apparently is being, which Mr. Keynes got a license to build. What is the view? What is the take of your party as far as this building in the city centre is concerned, and the possibility of it holding a casino? Or you can't comment on that?
I can comment on both.
Right.
They're totally different, and it's different answers. Let me go back to the master plan and the planning of Milton Keynes. I think there's a number of factors that make Milton Keynes the really special place that it is. Low density housing, our grid road network, the fact that we're not a high-rise city, the fact that we treasure our green open spaces, the fact that we've got a redway network where people can travel around by foot or by bicycle, that's something to be proud of. But our grid roads, our ease of access, all of these things are being dumbed down and dulled out by current planning practices. We're almost trying to make Milton Keynes normal again, and that isn't what makes Milton Keynes a fantastic place that it really is. That is something that we have got to try and reverse. Yes, we need to move on. We need to be realistic. Milton Keynes is going to grow. Milton Keynes needs to grow simply to actually be the place that people that have lived and grown up in Milton Keynes can stay in. But we need organic growth. Growth that's dictated by our own economy and by our own population. We don't need to be at the centre of a government housing target. And that's a pledge that a Conservative government has said that it will give us. It will give us back control of our growth rate, and it will let us grow and evolve at the rate that Milton Keynes dictates it should, not at the rate central government dictates it should. That's the first thing. But as you say about the master plan, there was a master plan for Milton Keynes. And as things do over 40 years, you begin to realise that there's certain things in there that aren't feasible and that aren't fundamental. And 40 years on a date. But the basic principles that Milton Keynes was founded around still, I believe, remain. Things that I've already talked about, like its grid road network, like its low-rise, low-density, green open spaces. I believe we're dumbing that down. The planning application that I think you're referring to, the specific one, in Milton Keynes for a huge high-rise building with a large casino in it, is just one example. Now, Xscape's an iconic building in my view, but I accept that some people think it's not.
I think some people will probably disagree with you on that, but there you go.
I have no problem.
It's a landmark in Milton Keynes,
It's a landmark in Milton Keynes. Why do we want to build something that is 50% higher than that? We don't. It's not in the principles that Milton Keynes first adopted. There was a saying, although I don't know whether it's ever written down, that nothing in Milton Keynes should be higher than the highest tree. Then there was a saying that nothing should be higher than the cross on the top of the city centre church. Okay, all of these things have gone and passed, and we have Xscape now. But let's use that as the benchmark. It's a landmark in Milton Keynes. I personally think it's something to be proud of. Other people differ. Fine. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and we can all have a good discussion on that, and we'll probably never agree. That apart, we have to bear in mind that there are fundamental principles that make Milton Keynes special. And let's actually preserve them. And I'll commit a Conservative administration right now to doing just that. If I can touch on the casino that you mentioned.
Please.
Casinos are something that I personally have a very moral view on. I'm a licensed lay minister in the Church of England, and casinos run headlong into my principles. So I've actually always taken the line of abstaining on them in council and keeping right out of the way, because I could never actively support it, even though the guidelines that we have to work by probably say I should. Casinos, I don't believe, is something that the Conservative group should have a position on, because I believe it's up to everybody's conscience to vote as they believe. Therefore, I've never ever put a group whip out on that sort of thing, and I never intend to.